philosophers. This episode is brought to you by uh, fudge. Fudge is delicious and exactly what I planned to say, just like I planned the song I'm about to sing right now, and I absolutely know all the words. Fuck the police coming straight out of downtown with a crazy ass nigga. We're out of town. I don't know. I apologize for all of that. And now here they are, your invenerable host, Carlos Kareem. Oh no, I'm not there. I'm coming though. Don't worry. Hi. The sound that lets you know we're here. And none of this is happening, including that. Sorry, because I was finishing up the show seconds ago. That's not at all. That's not true. Hey, guess what? Tonight is Thursday. That means that it is finally time for something wicked. It's this month's Telltale. I am telling a tale about the wickedry of people. It's about story I'm sharing is one about tattoos and skinheads and all sort of thing. There's going to be all sorts of different performances. It's going to be lovely. If you've ever been to a Telltale, it's going to be like that, except online. And you should register and get you a ticket and go. If you would do me a favor, I would like to ask you to go ahead and share this episode. I asked that right off the top because what I'd like to do is to not have to come back and do this later. People who are here know this. This is the Philosopher's Tree. This is where I say stuff, and I do it for free. Have been doing it since we have been in the Rona lockdown. I will be doing it until we are free again. 4 days a week. And what makes it possible is your help. So if you would like to help, there are ways you can do that. The freest one, go ahead and share it. Share it on your page. Like it on your page. If you're on YouTube, hit the like, hit the subscribe, smash the buttons, do the things. And if you would like to maybe contribute a little bit to it, anyway, that's fine. You could do that. You could drop a $5 on it right there at Venmo at Carlos-Wyndham, a Cash App, $CK Wyndham, or PayPal forward me /me.CK Wyndham. And if before tomorrow at 4 p.m. you become a patron and or show any evidence that you were part of the thing that we did when we were trying to send some money to the formerly incarcerated in Florida, you send some photographic evidence of that or photographic evidence of having voted. If you send any of those to smoke and mirrors ccb at Gmail, we will make sure that you get entrance along with patrons to my birthday party happening this Sunday, October 18th. Patrons at every single level get in. And that will absolutely include our friends Ruthie, Erica, Amber, Aaron, Seth, Lisa, Kristen, Renice, Michael, Natalie, Terrica. Hey, yo, Terrica. I got your message. We are going to get your thank you gift to you. I'm so sorry. Tracy and Venus. Whoo. I have another thing I'm going to plug to you now, too. That's happening on the 25th. And we ride the inaugural album from Wallace. We will be doing our record release party. When I say we, that's because this is the band that I am in. It's going to be dope. I'd love to see you there. Please come October 25th. And we ride live stream album release. I think that's going to be 7 p.m. We'll get you the details next week. Whew. Oh, yeah. Guess what, too? Today is the last day to do the census. The courts have spoken. They tried to shorten it up. They tried to make it so that you couldn't do the census any further than September 1st. But then the courts said, nope, that's bullshit. They can do it until October 31st, just like it was already scheduled. But then the Trump said, no, I think I'm going to keep trying to fight that and take it to the courts. And I would like to make sure that you can't You can't do the census after October 15. And the courts went, okay. And so now, if you watch this and you have not at this point filled out the census, please go to mycensus2020.gov. mycensus2020.gov. It is not going to take you any more than 2 or 3 minutes. 5 if your family's super complicated. And it's good to have a super complicated family. I'm not here to judge. Have whatever shape family you like. But guess what? Everyone who lives in your house counts on the census. Every single body. A baby? Yup. Your cousin sleeping on the couch? You bet. The baby in your belly? Uh-huh. Your ex-husband sleeping on the floor in the living room while the kids are being kept safe away from them? Yes. If they live in your home, they count. Please make sure that you count. We count. Oregon is the campaign that I've been doing this with. I said I would do it to the last minute possible. This is the last minute possible. We need you. Please make it count. Do you have a warm bevy? I do. Going with thank you, Tracy. See you there. My2020.gov. I put it on the screen before. I'm going to put it on the screen again. But if you're in the chats there, you now have the opportunity. Just go ahead and click it. Just click it. And you could do, in fact, it'll just move me over to let you do the census while we're doing the show. You could do both at the same time. You'll be done before we even get through the first segment. I promise. I'm trying to find a way to hold the lighter when I do that doesn't look as though I've just discovered tools or like I'm eating the wrong way with a spoon. I haven't figured it out yet. If you have a suggestion, please jump in. Shout out to Fenty. For anybody wondering, yes, indeed, I am wearing a natural lip from Fenty, and I loves it. I had been threatening to get myself some makeup for, I'm going to say almost a year. And I said that Auntie was going to get herself something nice for her birthday, and I did. I'm going to figure out my eye situation. It's going to be a whole thing. But right now, it showed up today. The lip is gorgeous. I love it. And I want to say that in spite of all of the assertions, Pharrell, my femininity is not the new masculinity. My femininity is just the divine femininity on this body, in this world. And I'm loving it. So we're going to get into some shit today. Few things on my mind. I know we've been doing a lot of news and current events. We've been doing a lot of politic. We're going to try coming up next month to bring in as much culture as possible, because whoever wins, we're going to need it. If you have not voted yet and you live in the state of Oregon, your electoral ballot should be in your mailbox today. Your election ballot should be in the box today. Please fill that out. Please vote. You're in Oregon. It got sent to you. If you're registered, this is easy. Come on. After this is done today, I think I might take my stupid government mandated walk down to the library and drop my very envelope. I did fill it out yesterday. If you were here on the show, I cast my votes for mayor for Portland. I voted for Teresa Rayford. I did hear some black people asking, why would you vote for Teresa Rayford right now, knowing that she's a write-in vote and that she is not running? She didn't run a formal campaign this time around. And here's why. Because go fuck yourself, the other candidates. That's it. That's the whole thing. Both of them. Especially Ted, though. So white liberals, do what you got to do to defeat Ted, and black radicals are the ones who are voting for Teresa to answer the questions being posed by the liberal black Huxtabillian folk who would like to get along to go along. And we aren't doing that. So I voted for Teresa. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Uh-oh, look at this. It is a week and a half until Portland's Thriller Dance, doing it socially distanced. Alan Silver's letting us know. If you are one of the folk in this area, you know that every Hallows Eve ish, there is a collective. What did they used to call these mob dances, mob squad dances, or something? Anyway, Alan Silver is one of the folks who has been participating and I think presenting in this for some time. We would love for anyone who is still comfortable dancing to the musical tunes of Michael Jackson. Keep in mind, he recorded this before he had the power to create the rape dungeon. So it's technically it's still okay to dance to, I think. I would like to say that if you like it, it's still okay. I'm going to say that. As I was saying, we've been doing a lot of current events. We're going to keep moving into culture. Thank you for culture, Alan. One current event upon which we're going to touch today very quickly and move on is Barron got it. Barron got it. That makes 30 that we know about. I'm going to say that 30 at the White House that we know about. Primarily, what that means is the white peoples, and that's who we know about. Primarily, that's who that is. CPS would take my child if I endangered them. Just saying. Also, based on the height differential, I'm going to go ahead and say that Trump probably gave it to Barron on purpose, kissing him goodnight, and probably scared the shit out of Barron when he did it, because I doubt that he's ever said a thing to his child prior to that. That's what it is. So today, not going to focus too much on that. There's 30 of them. We know what it is. But there is a segment that we started last week that, well, we have occasion to continue with today. And so we're going to continue. I did want to get the song for you. I forgot, you're in luck, but it is our segment, Accidental Racist. Our segment, Accidental Racist. We began this last week, taking a long, hard look at the life and career of one LL Cool J, leading up to the recording of the song Accidental Racist. And of course, the worse offense than the creation of the song, the defense of the song, running to defend his own song that was so racist. If you forget about the chains around my neck, I'll forget about the chains around my wrists, said LL Cool J, quoth he. Yuck. So today we're talking about another accidental racist. This time it is not Todd James. There have been some requests, and we do have some things coming up in the future based on the requests that have come in based on this segment. One of them is to look at Tyra Banks. We do look forward to doing that in the not too distant future. We're going to look today at another one of Tyra Banks' co-stars in her filmographic career, Mr. O'Shea Jackson. Seen here, living it up in the 80s. That's how we did it. The other thing that we thought about saying right there was seen here just prior to leaving Ready for the World. Oh, Sheila. Oh, Sheila. We're going to be talking, oh, baby, 1, 2, 3. We're going to be talking today about some of the steps and missteps that lead us to declare O'Shea Jackson our accidental racist for the day. Of course, you know O'Shea as Iced Cube, member of Digital, just never had a girl before. Digital, with much of a figure. So excuse me if I start to play. Ooh, ooh, digital display. Um, that group of high school boys had 2 hits. How many radio hits have you had? That's wonderful. Good for them. This other group of high school boys, right here. This is niggas with attitude. You may know them for such number 1 hits as "Fuck the Police" and "Respect Yourself." And they, when they began, were writing about things such as not having time for gangs and thangs, and not taking drugs, not smoking chronic because it would fuck with your mind. That was something that Dr. Dre said. Dr. Dre of the Chronic. Of course, that was penned by O'Shea Jackson, as were all of the lyrics by Eazy-E and himself. He established himself as one hell of a lyricist and was able to retell a lot of the stories of his friends. He was a bit of a nerd, and his friends, some of them, got caught up in the life growing up where he grew up in South Central Los Angeles. And because of that, he was able to retell those stories, as nerds do, because nerds write. And so this nerd had some success, and this nerd was also a math nerd and a bit of a political nerd. And this math and political nerd realized, as the revenue sales for this record were rising and rising and rising, that he was not getting any in his pockets. But when he checked into it, found out that the reason was because Eazy-E, the frontman, had made a deal with Jerry Heller, and so Cube struck out on his own because he found this quite objectionable. The idea that a white man would be making all of the money off of this group. And so he went off on his own little revolutionary business. Eazy-E was also, it turns out, down with the Republican Party. One of the reasons that O'Shea went ahead and stepped out of NWA and made fun of him quite a bit. He was, in fact, at a fundraiser and gave quite a lot of money to George W. Bush. George W. Bush, this is not the W, I'm sorry, George H. W. Bush. There's so many Bushes. It's hard to tell the Bushes apart. I think that's why we started trimming them. That George H. W. Bush was a recipient of a large donation from Eazy-E. George H.W. Bush, of course, who helped bring the crack cocaine into the country and into South Central Los Angeles, that was being sung about and rapped about by Eazy-E, NWA, and the gang. He did that along with Dick Cheney, the former vice president, who once shot his friend dead in the face and then made his friend apologize on national TV. How did we get where we are? Who could guess? Ice Cube had some objections to that, so took off on his own and made a couple of records, and one of the classics is America's Most Wanted. He had a brand new sound because it was produced by, controversially for a West Coast rapper, the Sound Bomb Crew, right? Is that right? The Bomb Squad. Bomb Squad. Sound Bomb was the white kids, sorry. Bomb Squad. The Bomb Squad, the producers for Chuck D, Flava Flav, and Public Enemy. And it was at about this time that we began to see a lot more of a political bent to what O'Shea was serving up to the people. I liked it. I'm not going to lie. I liked it. I did not like the hyper-violence. I didn't like the idea of replicating rape and these sorts of assaults on other black dudes as a result, you know, because you were leaving their group or because you were striking out on your own. But I did like a sound of bringing that East Coast rapid fire with the East Coast laid back Ice Cube getting to the, and it brought forth this cacophony of sound that was not if you lived on the West Coast, seen as very popular. It kept that fight going between he and NWA as NWA started fading into obscurity because their group sucked. The records weren't good. They were mostly built on creating controversy around fighting with Ice Cube. They stopped eventually. Ice Cube kept transforming, and one of the most important versions of Ice Cube that we got to see as he kept reinventing himself was the formerly NWA NOI Ice Cube, the Nation of Islam Ice Cube. This was born after Ice Cube created a publicity stunt out of deciding that he was going to attack a backpack rapper, Common Sense at the time, for saying that the popularity of what was then called gangsta music was because hip hop had become a gangster rolling with gangsta bitches. In that song, very misogynistically, hip hop was thought to be a girl with which Common grew up. So Lonnie was talking about what was talking about the music. Ice Cube, it decided that he was talking about the entire West Coast and started East Coast, West Coast beef that resulted in the two of them nearly getting into some shooting matches that resulted in them having a sit down with Minister Farrakhan, which is where we got NOI, NWA Ice Cube. That wasn't the last time he reinvented himself, though, because you got to remember that the whole character that Ice Cube kept pushing prior to this was this gangster Ice Cube. And it's funny because that image of being a gangster, a street person, was not one that he was cultivating in Niggas with Attitude. That was really about we are not what you expect, right? It was about flipping that idea on its head and making white folks comfortable with the idea of the fact that they would have to say Niggas with Attitude if they wanted to say the full game, the full name. Kurt Loder never said it. He said NWA. No, I think he did say Niggas with Attitude once or twice, but mostly had to say NWA on MTV. Much like Tupac adopted the personality of the character he played in Juice, and suddenly he was a hard street boy, even though he was somebody who had gone to Baltimore School of the Arts and was a choreographer for Digital Underground. Ice Cube adopted the personality of this movie character because it gave him more legitimacy, sold more records, right? And in fact, even though the song "Boys in the Hood" is a song by Eazy-E, Ice Cube was able to go ahead and be in this John Singleton movie called Boys in the Hood, thereby taking the mantle of all of the NWA sort of vibe in popular culture. It was a smooth move. Also smooth was the way that he became Fudge when Singleton again tapped him to star in Higher Learning with Tyra Banks, who we'll come back to a different time. He played Fudge for a while, and that's where we got Afro Ice Cube. We got professorial Ice Cube. This is the Cube I related to. This is the Cube that I understood. Do you know what I'm saying? Because as a member of Generation X, as somebody who went to the first Lollapalooza ever, I was part of a generation that very wrongly and falsely believed that somehow we were going to change the whole world with our art and our music. Ice Cube was thought to be one of the people who was going to help us to do that. And we thought he was telling the truth, maybe. We thought he wasn't just playing characters on records. We thought he was really this person. Turned out he wasn't always really this person. And he did keep evolving. He got gangsterific again for a short time, teamed up with Dre again for a short time, put out a couple of more records that didn't matter much, did a lot of cock blockery of other West Coast artists, and made sure that he was the one on top. In fact, took a hook, Throw Your Set in the Air from Cypress Hill, and after listening to it, released his version of the exact same song first. He's got a reputation in the industry, and it's not one for being an upstanding person who continues to help West Coast music blossom and grow. He is one who is known for sitting in a pile of money and talking a lot of shit about how he's the OG original gangster. Again, having never, ever, ever been a gangster. This is Ice Cube now. This is Rona Ice Cube, seen here rocking the Nick Cannon turban that has become all the rage. Really, really good look. Really good look. Hey, side note, where Ice Cube was adopting his personality from the SW1s, Public Enemy, and the Bomb Squad crew, choosing to pick your personality type from Nick Cannon, not a great move, because Nick Cannon, really? I mean, Nick Cannon is just fucking corny as candy corn. There's nothing cornier than Nick Cannon. You could make corn out of candy corn and still not be as corny as Nick Cannon. Point is, Nick Cannon is fucking corny. All right? Side note. What the fuck was this? What? Nothing to do with anything. Anyway, Nick Cannon version of Ice Cube has been flapping he gums. And flapping he gums to an extent that it almost makes the desperate plea for fame and acceptance coming out of the likes of T.I. and Killer Mike look like they might actually have a political idea and platform, and not just like they are seeking attention and being attention whores. Cube is not doing that. Your man's recently had written this idea, this plan had been popping off, if you will, about why Black people should not vote for either party because neither party is for Black people. Now, true. Where's the argument there? That neither party is for Black people. This is just a fact. I would like to suggest that one of them might be a little bit more against Black people than the other one. Like actively and voraciously against Black people than the other one. And Cube had suggested that he was going to write up this plan for what ought to be done for Black people in the political sphere, and that whoever would adopt it, he might work with them. And he ran to the Democrats early, said, "Hey, I've got all of these ideas about what you could say about Black people and what to do about it, and doodly. And they said, "Yeah, no, we have been talking to a lot of people, and in fact, we have a Black vice presidential candidate, and we have a whole platform around it. But as soon as we get this thing off the ground, we would love to engage with you further and continue to build it. That sounds good." And Ice Cube's ego melted a bit. I'm imagining began melting a bit. And it made it easier for that Ice Cube to fit into a smaller hole and slide on in there than it may have before. And then Ice Cube went and talked to Donald Trump. Seen here. No. Hey, Joshua. What the fuck? That's the wrong picture. That is clearly not. That's not Ice Cube talking to Donald Trump. That's Kanye West talking to Donald Trump. Don't. Thank you. All rappers don't look the fucking same. Ice Cube. Seen here adopting the platform that you can work with Donald Trump and get things done for the benefit of Black people. You cannot. Many wealthy and famous Black folks seem to get it in their heads that they are going to be the first one to make the devil change his dance steps. But there's an old axiom that is true, that if you dance with the devil is going to change your steps. You're never going to change the devil's steps. And so many platformed black folk seem to keep dancing with the devil, thinking they're going to change the devil's steps. You just keep seeing it over and over again. Harvey did this. Kanye did this. Your mans did this. Jay-Z working with the fucking NFL talking about we're past kneeling now. By the way, Jay-Z, who invests in private prisons, the same private prisons, by the way, which were negotiated for through one Van Jones, in order to have some talkie talks with the Koch brothers, because they are one of the largest investors in private prisons to mitigate that harm. The idea that we could somehow mitigate the harms of working in the prisons by owning the prisons. If we're the overseers, we're going to be the better ones. I don't know. And somehow, Kill It Will, Ice Cube, America's Most Wanted, the Predator, ended up platforming some of the ideas that Donald Trump just released as his plan on black people as part of his campaign to swoop more black votes away from Democrats, which would in fact keep the Nazi being driven by Captain Steve the Nazi over there in the White House, the other COVID infected Nazi, that somehow there's a way for Ice Cube to work with them and it's going to fix it up. And so he did, and he got caught, and he had to admit it. And this is what happened in the last 24 hours about, which is why we need to find Ja Rule. I mean, I think that's really what it is, because clearly we learned nothing from the wisdom and genius of one Dave Chappelle, who asked us years ago about bringing rappers into political discussions. Why are you looking for these people? Why would you look for what Ja Rule has to say about George Bush or Katrina? Why would you look for what O'Shea Jackson has to say about Trump? Why would you look for Kanye West to run this country? It's almost as though Chappelle's point was that famous people aren't worth a shit and you shouldn't really listen to them. Which again is ironic considering how famous Dave Chappelle is and was even when he said this. And even more ironic considering that when he did the first opening for Saturday Night Live after Trump was elected, was the same now muscle-bound and steroid-filled Dave Chappelle who was saying, we have to give him a chance and I want him to succeed. I do, because I want any president to succeed, said Dave Chappelle. That is the same Dave Chappelle, of course, who did the famous 846, I guess we could call it a bit, rant, I don't know, that he sold tickets to for white people and let them come in with their masks on and then tell absolutely no jokes and admonish us all again that we were listening to famous people for any answers to what happened with George Floyd. Why would we be listening to any famous people at all? Said the very, 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 very famous and now very big and thick Dave Chappelle to us all. A lesson that I'm trying to get my head around. I'm bending it up there like a pretzel. I'm sure it's just that maybe I don't have the right turban on, but I'm having a hard time all the way understanding it. Also, isn't Dave Chappelle the same Dave Chappelle who just also ushered Louis C.K. back to the stage with him on his little mini secret tour that he's doing now during the time of COVID? Because, of course, that's when you want to do your little mini secret tour to reintroduce Louis C.K. Louis C.K., my favorite white Mexican comedian who will do absolutely anything to figure out a way to work the word nigger into one of his internationally recognized stand-up routines. Oh boy, it's a good world that we're living. I Okay, so I guess the point of this segment of Accidental Racist was really that we should listen to rappers, or we shouldn't listen to Ice Cube, or Dave Chappelle should be listened to, maybe Van Jones, or maybe the famous are just trash and we shouldn't listen to any of them, or maybe we should just pack our bags and get the fuck ready to go to the Fire Festival, because we're all going to need a celebration November 4th, no matter what the fuck happens. Hey, I'd love to spend some more time with you. I really would, and I'd love to spend it with you live, like in person. And you know what? We could do that on October 20th, because I am going to be doing the first of a 6-part series, the Collective Evolution series. That's going to be happening Tuesday, October 20. More information can be found at subductionconsulting.com. You can register there. I will be doing a session on art making, and trying to remove it from consumer society, the hammer with which we shape our reality. Art for the purpose of revolution. So I do hope you will join me for that. This right here, this has been another episode of Smoke and Mirrors. Really do appreciate you spending a little bit of time under the philosopher's tree. If you would like to see more of, I don't know, my face or this fabulous lip that I am wearing from Fenty, you could do that at IG at Smoke and Mirrors, CCB. That's for comedy, culture, and bullshit. You could also look at words that were written by myself at Caballo Negrito at Twitter. Caballo Negrito, Little Black Stallion. Do you have a suggestion, thought, feedback that needs to be taken into consideration, including that you don't want to hear any more about politics, and quite frankly, I don't want to talk about it anymore, but I'm willing to engage with you and really talk with you about it one-on-one and get into it and do all the things. If you want to reach out at Smoke and Mirrors CCB, that's for the comedy, the culture, and the bullshit, at gmail.com. And please, 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 again, do join us for another time under the philosopher's tree next week. This is an event that is produced and hosted by myself, Carlos Kareem Wyndham. This is also produced by Tracy Tatamy. Hey, do me a favor. Would you take care of yourself? Would you take care of each other? Would you stay inside? If you do go outside, wear a mask. When you come back inside, wash your hands. Be very careful about it and get all the Rona off. Why? Because we love you. Hey, have a great weekend. I do hope I get to see you. Again, the birthday party's happening Sunday. You still got time. Go ahead and get over to the, where it's way back over here. I'm going to find it for you. I know what it is. Go ahead and get back over to the Patreon and join us. And I hope to see you on Sunday for happy birthday. Do not sing the white version of the song to me. Love you very much. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.